don't, compare yourself to others. That's the one thing, man. If people saying, oh, why is it taking you so long? Bro, as long as you're still doing it, as long as you're being consistent and not skipping classes and doing all this stuff, as long as you staying on track, man, that's all that matters. All right. Like I said, some people it just takes a little longer. Some classes are that much harder. It's so many different things, man. Like, I'm not gonna get deep into everything, but you get the gist of it. You get the point. Listen, you don't need to graduate college in 4 years. Why? Because life hits you when you're 17 or 18, depending on your birthday and when you graduate high school. Life will start to get serious. I don't think people understand that, and I feel like some people just aren't prepared. When you go to college or you go to trade school or whatnot, but for this topic, let's do college. College is 4 years. Realistically, it's like trade. You low-key could finish in 2, but you gotta take other classes that are just graduation requirements, so kind of like high school standards to a degree. And some people have family business they gotta take care of. Some people, have to work while trying to pay for tuition because they didn't get any scholarship, or they got the bare minimum scholarship, or they just didn't get a full ride, and the loans would have been way too much. Or even if they did take loans, no matter what the case is, it's just whatever the circumstance was. Let's say they didn't get the best scholarship because they applied too late. They waited till the last minute, or whatnot, or they just didn't start the application process early enough. So they were on the wait list, so they got scrump change on scholarships. It really just depends, standardized test scores, GPA, this, that, and the third. Like, there's so many different factors that it's really not a guarantee no matter what. But look at it like this. That's how life is not as bright as most people would think, or as kids thought, hey, I can't wait till I grow up and, be an adult. Nah, an adult sucks. you know, like Chuck E. Cheese, where a kid can be a kid. Yeah, you can only be a kid for so long. But college is just one of those things where you have to take it serious. And I feel like people who are not on full ride scholarships take college the most serious, if they, if it is for them, because they're not on scholarship. There's no guarantee. And even if you are on scholarship, even if you are on a scholarship, most people on scholarships are so complacent because they think that they got it, so now they're just going to keep it. When you have to maintain that certain overall school's GPA per semester to even keep the scholarship, to basically renew it, it's literally a contract. I'm telling you, college is a business operation. Everything in life is a business transaction. Just saying. In case you didn't know, now you know. So it's like it's a contract. Like for athletes, artists, rappers, musicians, it's a literal contract. If you don't maintain the standards in this contract, we're revoking your scholarship and this, that, and the third. And even if you drop out, you still got to pay back any debt that you have. So that's why I'm like, people need to understand that everyone goes through different phases in life. They have to handle other necessities. That's why some people don't go to college for a long time until they handle all that. Some people have different priorities. Heck, some will go to college and then drop out just because of said business they had to handle, family related issue, or that college at the time just wasn't for them, but they decide to go back, years later, And sometimes you do need to take sometimes you might not even go right out of high school. Sometimes you might need to take a year or two or so to really figure out what you want to do. And I feel like, my personal opinion, I feel like more high schools need to have workshops, that way you have an idea, you can do different things, have like a basic introduction to said thing, said field, if you were to go to college, and see what fits you. If it's something you would enjoy doing, or not just tolerate, not just do it just because the money's good, or this, that, and the third. Because if you do it just because the money's good, you will always be a slave to money. You just will be. The money controls you. It's like, find something that you're going to enjoy doing while making good money at the same time. That's what you really need to look for. Because if you do it just for the money, but you don't really like it, or if you hate it, that's the worst, man. If you hate it, man, you're not even going to enjoy the money. That, I feel like that right there in itself will let you know that money doesn't bring happiness. You have to really be happy within yourself, and heck, in your current situation. I'm not saying happy in your current situation, because depending on your situation, There really is no room to be happy about it. But as long as you're always working to improve, you can be, more confident, more abundant, and it can be a real good mindset shift. So because a lot of people go to college just because, if the said field pays good money, like nursing, any medical field. I'm looking at certain people. I'm just like, why are you even in that field for real? And they're like, well, my parent, wanted me, to get into it, or they're, nurses or doctors. And I'm just like, so basically either two options. One, you don't know what you really want, so you're kind of just taking their path just because it's a quote unquote safer bet, because they may have connections and whatnot to certain medical fields and things. Or your parents heavily, heavily annoyed or influenced you to go with that field, to keep it in the family bloodline or whatever the heck is going on at that household. But I look at it like this, like, you got to do it for you. That's the thing. Like I said, high school should have workshops and different things, or any type of program, but I feel like workshops would be the best because you really get that hands-on experience if it's something you would do, consider doing, or not do at all. Like, screw that, I hate it, I would never, nope, this is not it for me. Absolutely not. But luckily we have the internet, so you can always Google, if you really want some good money, you can always Google top paying jobs in America or in your state, but let's just go in America and kind of look at the different kind of jobs and really see if it sounds interesting, and then do some more research on it. What's the day-to-day skills? What's the skills you need? How long would it take? Like, what's the starting pay? Like, if that's really something you want to get into, you can do Google search now, give you an idea. Heck, you probably could do YouTube videos and they might give you breakdowns of said fields and how to get into it or how to thrive in it or what to expect, like different things, if you really want to take it to that level. Because back then you were kind of out of luck because you really didn't have many resources back then, especially with the internet and everything. So it's just one of those things where you have to do it for you, and everyone's timing is different. Some people will go back to college years down the line, but at least they finished. And even if you don't finish college, maybe it just wasn't for you. As long as you keep going in something in life, whether, whatever that may be, and as long as you enjoy doing it and you're making a good living from it, man, that's what matters the most. Too many people in society think you're supposed to graduate in 4 years, not knowing, like, yo, we're kind of on our own now. We have other responsibilities. We're not kids or young teens in the school system where they have a system implemented on what we can do, when we can do it, when to change classes, bro. In life, ain't none of that. So when life really starts lifing and things start coming at you, like I said, things start coming at people differently, and it's just one of those things where you gotta figure that out, man. That's some deep soul searching. You gotta look yourself in the mirror and see if it's really for you, and just go all in on it. Don't expect people, don't, compare yourself to others. That's the one thing, man. If people say, oh, why is it taking you so long? Bro, as long as you're still doing it, as long as you're being consistent and not skipping classes and doing all this stuff, as long as you're staying on track, man, that's all that matters. All right. Like I said, some people it just takes a little longer. Some classes are that much harder. It's so many different things, man. Like, I'm not going to get deep into everything, but you get the gist of it. You get the point. And like, I'm going to revert back to this point about scholarships being on full ride or majority covered, people getting complacent. That's like life. You know why? Because look at it. If you work a good salary-based job making over 6 figures, 150, way over 6 figures, so about 150, even close to 200 on a good mark. So you're in the top, let's say 10% earners in America. Might be less that earn over 100,000, let alone 200,000. About at 10 or just less than top, than the 10%. Most people will be, oh, that's enough money, be complacent, dilly-dally. No, not me personally. I want more. So I'm gonna do everything in my power. I'm gonna pretend like that money ain't enough for me. Even if it is, because my expenses will be low. Most people get that kind of money, most people go out and raise their expenses and then wonder why they can't make a good living off of that. Because like, if you're in the top few percent earners in America, especially salary based and corporate, how are you, and obviously depending where you live geographically, realistically speaking, but then if the cost of living isn't as crazy demand, like Arizona, Nevada, California, or New York, then why aren't you able to really, expand that money and have it last long? Because you raise your expenses. You got to be able to live below your means, which a lot of people are not willing to do. But at the end of the day, you do what you got to do. If college is for you, whether you currently in college or you considering college, man, no matter what, as long as you finish, that's what matters the most. And if you can finish with the least amount of debt, even better. But that's the end of this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Comment, like, subscribe, comment down any other future videos you may want to see. And until next time, I'm going to see y'all on the next one.